Hello and welcome back to our next episode of the Doggone Truth about Rescue. Tonight we're going to review the Miami County Public Planning Commission hearing from last Tuesday in regards to the zoning of the Homestead and the Osawatomie Pound, and there was a conclusion made on that, which was actually surprising to me. I'm going to introduce my guest that we have with us tonight, or if my co-host Cy would like to.
Greetings. Tonight we have Sarah Mills here with us tonight and Judy. Say your last name for me.
Catter Henrik.
That's Judy's last name. Thank you guys for joining us today.
And you have been kind of our staple of season 2 with what's going on and our informatives, inside source of what's going on with the Planning Commission and all the events. So thank you for making the drive. I know it's an hour for some of you to come out here to share this information with all of our listeners. Who would like to start first with the review on the planning hearing?
I can bring you up to date on last week's. There are 3 steps to getting a conditional use permit approved or reviewed. We had the first meeting, as you recall, in April, and then we had to come back because we had, thankfully, so many supporters, which was one of the best things about this whole thing, is the unbelievable support, not only from people within driving distance, but from all over the world. The May 2nd meeting was much the same. We were told by people with experience in county and city government that this was really a phenomenal case because usually the only people who come and take interest in coming to a hearing like this are the people in opposition to it. But in our case, we had over 100 people both nights that we were there and over 1,000 letters and emails coming in. And so we can't thank everyone enough, whether you were there that night or both nights, or whether you were around the world listening from New Zealand and other places, or whether you had sent in letters. No one has ever seen this sort of support for a proposal. That part of it was hugely, hugely positive. The process was, though, that the Planning Commission staff had issued a report last month. They tried to make points on both sides, but at the end they had recommended denial, although they had said there's no good reason to deny this just because neighbors don't like it. I think in the end, the pressure from the neighbors was fairly overwhelming. So we got to the end of the evening and actually came to the point where the planning commissioners took a vote. The next step from this meeting would logically be then this goes to the county commissioners who actually make the final decision. So this was the second of 3 potential steps to review our case. So we got to the end of a very long night. We had a lot of people give really wonderful, absolutely fantastic 2-minute presentations. And we got outvoted at the end. This doesn't mean it's over. If we choose to take it to a vote to the county commissioners, they could reverse that vote, but it doesn't look great right now. So we're discouraged, but not giving up. We're going to go ahead. We know this is the right thing to do. Jen is absolutely a believer in that we are meant to be on this 40 acres. We have a perfect plan. Even the strongest opposition speakers on the other side all came out and said, this is an organization like no other organization we've seen. They've said, you're a world-class level group. You do wonderful work, and then not in our backyard. So we're fighting that right now, which is disappointing. But it was super heartening to see the effort everybody put into it. It was really, you had to leave being lifted up by this community of people.
There was several people that I know got up and spoke that weren't going to speak the first time because they were like petrified of speaking in public. And I know several of those guys got up the second time. So thank you guys.
We even had someone drive up from Arkansas, right?
We sure did. This woman drove 4.5 hours to get here. She got up for 2 minutes, stayed the rest of the night to hear the decision, got back in her car and drove back to Arkansas. You can't ask for better than that. We had many, many people who drove down for both nights who didn't have a chance to speak or had spoken, and they all came back. It was epic, as we said last time.
What are the next steps for our listeners and supporters of if they want to be helpful in some way and know this is the time that we need it the most, what would you recommend?
I think if we have supporters in Miami County, which I know we do, maybe letters to the editor for the papers. A lot of people, maybe older people, don't get on social media, have no idea what's happening. And so maybe a letter to the editor just letting them know that, hey, the county had an opportunity to have a pound paid for, completely staffed at no cost to the county, and they chose not to do that.
I think one thing that was demonstrated, we had one of the neighbors, very close neighbors to the sanctuary, who had taken the time beforehand to come up, ask questions, walk around, let us answer her questions, and address the concerns that she had, some very valid concerns. And the wonderful thing was she took the time to come and talk to us and see for herself what was up there on the hill by the Little Red Barn. And she gave one of the most eloquent defenses for our project that anybody there did. And she was a person who was not sure about it. And I think she was the only one of all the neighbors who has ever taken the time to come up, ask questions, ask us to address their concerns. And I was so gratified to see her. It was wonderful. So I think there's still an opportunity for people who are wondering whether or not this is really the right thing to ask questions, educate themselves, because I don't think a lot of the people involved in that ever read the material, which we spent months preparing, and never realized that on that 40 acres, 4% of that land would even be under a roof. I mean, if you look at a pie chart that we provided, 96.4 of that land is wooded property. And it's just, people need to educate themselves because we're more familiar with it than they are. But once they get there, they love it.
I was honestly shocked and didn't know the decision was made until the following morning because I had spoke, Sai had gotten up and spoke. And so I didn't realize that they would be making the decision that night because when I left, it was probably 9:45 already. So I'm going to drive home, decompress. I figured everyone else would still be up talking, doing their 2-minute spiels. It would go over again. It'd be rescheduled. And then we'd drive back down and go all over again. So when I woke up the following morning, checked social media and saw Jen's post and Always and Forever post that it was denied, it was shocking to me after sitting there and listening to the last 2 meetings of all the positives that this would bring to the community.
I was also surprised that they voted on it that night because the public comment got done right at about 10 o'clock. I thought, oh, there's no way. They're going to have to go back and debate this and look over the material and look over the stuff that people presented and all that, their notes that they took from public comment. So I was really surprised also. I really thought they would go do a work session or something, debate it, and then vote. So that was kind of disappointing because you could tell that people hadn't read the proposal. They were asking questions that were completely answered.
The 2 people who did vote for us were asked great questions. You could tell they had read the material. They were really interested in asking us to say, hey, what kind of concession might you be willing to make to get everybody happy with this? And I was very impressed with those 2 people. They really did their job. They really had delved into it. And it was just kind of a disappointing thing watching it play out. As we said, there is one more possible step. We don't know whether we'll take that step. It could work out that enough people feel strongly enough and provide enough information. You never know. It could go to the Planning Commission and they could logically they don't have to vote the same way that the planning commissioners voted, but we don't know that yet. That's in the future and it's something we can't speculate on.
I also appreciated that one of the people that voted for us had taken the time to actually drive there and drive up the neighbor's road, stopped, got out, rolled his windows down, got out, could not hear dogs barking, couldn't smell poop. It was kind of telling that other people said they specifically don't drive down that road. That's weird to me that you're on the planning commission and you won't even drive down a major road in your county.
I think when you're making that big of a decision that is going to affect so many people within your county and out of your county, you would at least take the time to go and look at what you're voting on. And not even, like, I understand the time of the amount of evidence that we did provide, of to sit there and read through it would be ample amount of time. But the simple thing of taking a 15-minute drive to at least go look at the property, roll the windows down, I thank that commissioner that actually did do that. Hopefully he can pass that along to the others.
I think one of the biggest disappointments for me personally, and I know a lot of the other people, whether staff or volunteers or just part of the ANF family, is the fact that the animals in the Osawatomie Pound are headed into another summer. It's already been 90 degrees plus this past week. They're still sitting in a windowless, galvanized metal shed, and they will be there all summer while people battle this out. We had the opportunity to start construction on a really top flight, good, comfortable, safe environment for them. And they're still going to be sitting out there at the end of that road while people object to something that is 20 miles away from them. And I feel so badly for anyone's animal who winds up there, and I feel badly for our staff and our volunteers who are out there with them 12 hours a day trying to give them a really safe, comfortable, loving life while they're at the pound.
How many dogs are currently at Osawatomie?
There's 8 today, but it does vary. We have no control over who brings dogs in, who surrenders their dogs.
Capacity for about 14 maybe. There are some cat cages, and right now, unless it's a low number, these dogs are living in pretty much half of a kennel rather than the full-size kennel in order to bring more dogs in. And yet, through those 3 years that we've been in charge of them, not one dog has been euthanized for lack of space. And they won't be. We're going to continue to do what we do.
It's so frustrating that we have the space, we have the land, we have the resources for that to not be an issue, that a handful of people were able to influence a group to turn that down when it was a benefit for the county. I just make it make sense. But is this no the final no? Like, why are we still finding or think we have hope within the situation and immediately just shouldn't sell our land because we were told no?
Process-wise, it is not the final no. There's always the possibility that this could go a next step to the county commissioners, who are a whole different group of people who might actually read something, might vote, but it's very, very unusual. And our consultants and people with experience have told us that it's very, very unusual for anyone to, turn that vote completely around.
Does it automatically go to that next stage, or how do we decide if we get moved to that next stage?
I think Jen and the board of directors will decide whether to pursue that.
And also, once we get to the county commission, if it gets to that point, people in opposition were going to file a
petition of protest. And that they've already told us 6 months ago that if this got voted through, that they were going to do that. And that is a process by which the closest neighbors, the people all located with 1,000 feet, if they don't like the way it comes out, they can file a protest petition. And the clock has already started on that as of May 2nd, within 14 days. And if that petition has more than a majority of the neighbors, then instead of having a simple majority vote with the commissioners, it has to be a
super majority.
It's sort of loaded on in that way, and we can pretty much anticipate they're already working on that. But talk to Jen. Jen says, we are meant to be on this land. We're not going to sell this land. We are not going to give in. It's meant for us to be there, and she has enormous faith that this is going to work out. And we entertained a person from Kansas State Representative's office today who came out, took a look, and took a walk with us, and she said, I can't believe this place. This is amazing. We said people need to take the time to find out. Jen's run this whole thing on faith so far. She's not stopping now.
Have we put any articles in the local paper about it? I know you brought that up of writing into the editors, but have we published anything in the paper proactively to educate?
We have had articles written about us that were positive. I think Sarah brings up a really good point. Excellent point. And I know that we have volunteers who may have some connections, and I hope somebody will people do that, because you're right. Not everybody is on social media, and not everybody is a neighbor that thinks they're closely affected by that. It's an excellent point, Sarah. You're in charge of that committee.
Great.
I think the thought that's at the uppermost of our minds is, even though those 2 nights were disappointing and it was tough to drive home in the dark after hearing a negative vote, we drove back really uplifted. It was amazing. It was totally amazing. And we want to thank every single person who took the time to write their speech, come write their letter, send words of support, to have seen what a community this has turned into. It was fantastic and heartwarming, and made us really, really proud of the ANF family.
Absolutely. Thank you for everyone. It was very heartfelt being there. A quote that I've learned to kind of live by, because I've always imagined my life to go one way and then it ends up going a different way, and then it turns out better than I even expected. I want to think of that with Always and Forever in the homes. We had all these huge plans and we had our path paved for us, not necessarily paved, but getting to that point of where we thought we were going. And I just hope that it turns out better than we could have ever even expected or imagined, and it will work out. Absolutely. And that's going to lead us into one of the biggest events of Always and Forever, and thinking of the better future and opportunities of your life turning out better than you can imagine, like a trip to Greece with 8 of your friends. So if we want to touch base on the gala and some of the items for our supporters that they could actually win.
Huge celebration. So we have the gala this weekend at Uptown Theater. Saturday, Uptown Theater. And
There are still late arrival tickets available, so you can come in at 7. You don't get dinner, but you still get drinks and desserts and dancing and seeing all your favorite people.
so Sheila's online right now, and I'm peeping it out. There are tons of raffle items that are available. They are not available online, but will they?
They will be. They're available online right now to preview them, and then at some point they will go live.
You can catch all this information on our Facebook page at Always and Forever Animal Sanctuary.
Yeah, so specifically, if you go to Always and Forever's website, it'll be a pop-up. So all the bid items are at bidpal.net/GoldenGala23. I personally can't be there because we have a Kansas City Glory football game earlier, but we'll be watching some of these items because they are fantastic. Tell me if I need to be here for some of these. There is one that's listed Disney Here We Come, so I'm assuming that's a Disney trip.
I think that's a live auction item, so you would have to be there to bid in person.
Same with the trip to Greece.
No, the trip to Greece. You have to be there to buy a mystery box for $50. There's 150 available, so you have a really pretty good chance of winning that one.
And this is for a house in Greece for, I think, 5 days. So get your friends. Your odds are pretty good. With only 150 potential chances, you can load up your friends and buy multiple. You can buy multiple chances. Last year I bought 3 and it did me no good at all. I'm inviting my daughters this time, and I'm expecting them all to buy 3, and we'll have some pretty good odds there. So that's a really nice prize.
It says it has a private pool, airport welcome on arrival, rental car, welcome pack, all taxes and fees, including cleaning. Okay, Sheila, you buy one and I buy one.
All the mystery boxes sell out last time.
Oh, yeah, they sell
Quick. Dang. Okay. I'm going to have to figure that out.
But you have a chance all through the evening. You have to be present so they don't get sold before you get there.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can do that. If you're still looking for a way to support Always and Forever, this is one of the biggest fundraisers that we do throughout the year, and it's especially special, like we mentioned, 5-year anniversary. So if you're feeling a little down and defeated over the hearing and like we haven't done enough or given back, this is a way to kind of lift those spirits and put back into the organization to just prove the community that we've built and continue to build to support Always and Forever.
Shelby will be mad if we don't say this, but if you've already bought your tickets, fill out your bidder profile online. You should have got an email that tells you how to do that. If you don't set it up before you get there, you have to stand at the door and set it up with the little computer police to make sure you're ready to go for the night, because that's how you'll have a credit card on file through BidPal, and that's how you will actually bid for the auction items.
People get quite enthused. I was shocked last year. They have dinner and have drinks and listen to music, and suddenly people you had no idea were crazy risk takers were going nuts over bidding. So it is pretty fun. It's a pretty fun evening.
Have either of you won any items in previous galas?
I always bid on dog items, which clearly there are a lot of dog items. But I usually bid on quite a few, and then if I end up with one or two, then that's great. I don't think I won. I didn't get anything last year.
I did get something, and I shouldn't have mentioned that because I have no idea what it was.
I don't know if either of you will know this answer, but I'm thinking of my lifelong dream being on The Price is Right. And if you win an item, you have to pay taxes. Is that the case with the gala?
I don't think so because it's a not-for-profit.
Okay.
And so it's basically a donation. You're getting something in return, so you don't get a tax receipt for it.
It's not any cash price.
If you buy merchandise while you're there, there will be tax on that. So there will be gala shirts available, t-shirts, and maybe some other items, and those will have tax on them.
Okay, so I just want to know, do you guys know who the special guest is?
No.
Are you going to spill it?
We're all going to stare at Sheila and tie her up.
I was hoping
until she
Judy was
cracks.
going to slip up.
No, I don't know.
It's me. I'm the 2-time Super Bowl champ.
She has been involved in 2 Super Bowls. I demand a recount now that I know.
I'll bring my one ring. What is the attire for this event?
So there's not a specific dress code per se. They ask that you not wear jeans and don't wear shorts, tank tops, that kind of thing. You will see people in like jumpers, business casual type clothes, up to very sparkly sequin dresses, which I might have.
I think she does because I actually remember when she went on a cruise last year and had to have
I got a different one.
Oh, wow.
You can't wear the same dress 2 years in a row to a gala.
That's
Come
a
on
law.
now. That's bad form.
Yeah, well, you do see everything. You see looking like Cinderella descending the stairs to people in capri pants. And when you get there, no one cares. You're just out there sweating on the dance floor, having a really great time.
Well, good to know because our football game starts at 6. I think we should be done by 9. I should be at the gala by 9:30, and I will be in my football stuff. I won't have time to change, but I will be coming towards the end.
We'll give you permission.
It goes late. I remember last year it was pretty late. Too bad Amy Stucker's not here because I followed her out the door last year. It was late. That's all I can say.
Is there anything while people are attending to promote it on social media? Like, is there a gala hashtag? Is there something they should be tagging, promoting, posting while they're there?
There'll be various live Facebook feeds. If I know Miranda, she'll be doing that. We did some pre-work with some videos and remembrances and looking back over the last 5 years. And so it's a short program, but it's a fun program.
And we can probably come up with a hashtag.
I think we should have a hashtag.
I think that's
I
amazing.
think we probably do have a hashtag.
To do a hashtag, that way we can start trending
and following it.
Yeah,
That's right. Well, it's probably AF Gala. Blah, blah.
We need something cool, like wedding hashtags.
Yeah.
Anyways, has anyone invited any of the commissioners that voted down to come out and experience it?
No, you can't because that's implied as a gift. Because I will tell you that because we had a really nice book produced. Amy actually did it. That was just informative. It had pictures of it. We knew that a lot of people wouldn't come out to check it out before the meeting. So we got 10 books printed up that showed what the farm looked like, what the land looked like. It was just informative. It wasn't anything glitzy, but we took it down to the county office and said, we like this included with our materials. And they said, we can't give them gifts. We said, it's not a gift. It's a book that you can look at.
It's a picture book.
And now we've lost those 10 picture books in a file somewhere in the county office, and I really want them back, is all I can say. We could auction them off if we had them.
So if you haven't already purchased your tickets, it is going to be the event of the year. If you're looking to support Always and Forever, definitely check it out either online through the bidding platform or if you're able to attend in person, or just follow along on social media and see all the fun that everyone else is having.
I just wanted to add that the gala is the event of the year, but we have a few other huge events coming up in the summer. We have the Pucks for Paws. Oh. Keep an eye out for that.
So Pucks for Paws is in its second year. It's a hockey tournament that we have out at KCIC. I hope you like hockey because last year I ended up playing in 5 games in one day. My co-host left me and Jen.
Okay, moving on. We also have a golf tournament coming up. Right, there is a golf tournament coming up to help Always Furever, right? Don't know when that date is, but we will keep you posted.
Absolutely. So we do still have a lot of fun and exciting things coming up.
Another huge event coming up is in June 7th is the Q for Cause. Sheila will talk more about that since she's pulling it up.
I'll talk about it, but I'm the vegetarian of the group, and it was still a great time when I went last year. It was fantastic, and I didn't eat any of the barbecue. So it is actually held through a former Kansas City Chiefs lineman, Mitchell Schwartz, it's June 7th, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. You can just Google it, and it'll pull it up. Past guests have included Patrick Mahomes, Nicole Hardman, so Travis Kelce. All the players kind of support this mission, and we are a beneficiary of it. So Always Furever does get a percentage of the donations from that event. So it's a good time. Come on out, enjoy some barbecue. There's also silent auctions there as well. And you literally get served barbecue by former and current Chiefs players.
Best time ever. Gala.
I've been sitting here listening, and I think I say gala, and you say Gala. Which one is it?
It was you said it was Gala. I was like, that's just weird.
I had a horse once named Gala, so
what do you say?
Gala.
Gala. Use this recording for every word that I say. Gala. Gala.
Or is it Gala? I don't know which one I did say. Anyways, so fun events coming up that we see light no matter what, even when there's rain. The storm will pass, and there will be a rainbow as it's storming out right now. Some light. We always have a dog of the episode. Sarah, you had someone lined up.
I'm going to try to do this without crying.
Oh my gosh. No. You can't do this to us.
No. Okay. This is for Twinkle and McCoy. But I'm going to put out a beg for Kona and Boss because I don't want to see another dog not be in a home when they're potentially hospice. They are both around 8 years old, we think. They've lived together. They came to us. They were bounced around a bunch of other shelters through no fault of their own. They are delightful. They are black dogs with gray muzzles, and I don't know how you could get a better dog than that.
And I walked them around the Homestead today, and they were wonderful, great dogs who deserve a home. And we know that Boss is hospice.
We think.
So they need a really wonderful home.
They are not super friendly. Boss is not super friendly with other dogs. He thinks Kona is cool and other dogs drool. So would love a place together just to live out their lives. They're not going to be super active. They're going to be couch potatoes, and they love to be petted.
For our listeners, McCoy had crossed the Rainbow Bridge today, and Judy was there to be with him his last few moments. Just quick recap on my relationship with McCoy. He was originally a little gray barn dog. Me and my daughter started working there, and he was instantly one of our favorites. After I heard about McCoy declining, I questioned myself. Could I have done more to help him? I'm beating myself up really bad right now because I feel like McCoy, he was a loving dog. He was just so chill. And when he was at Little Gray Barn, we just thought he had arthritis. You know, we gave him his bone supplement, did short walks, had fun with him, took him out on dates. He was in our family Christmas photos. And now that he's gone, I question myself, could I have done more to love him? Could I just have taken him home with me? It hits hard. It hits real close to me because, you know, you go in and work and you love on these dogs, but for those that don't know, that don't work with dogs, that don't love on these dogs like we do every day, you don't know the feeling of when they cross the Rainbow Bridge. I'm glad he's in a better space, but I sit here and question myself, could I have done more for him?
You know, the wonderful thing though, Sai, is that he found a wonderful foster home in the last month. He started having a lot of pain, and that's made several vet visits in the last week, but he had found a committed foster who was committed to him until next spring. And so he did have that really loving home in addition to all the really great times he had with everybody who loved him so much. And just last weekend, 2 wonderful women came out and spent a hot Saturday building him a ramp so he could get down his front steps. And I think he was able to use it only twice. So everybody's spent the day crying today, but we love you, McCoy.
McCoy is one of those examples of how quickly it can change. He was always the happy to meet you, tail wagging, smiling, no matter what mood you were in or came in or thought you had going on in the world at that moment. If you were with McCoy, it was okay. And I think that's why he was always a top choice for the hotel sleepovers or day dates, because he automatically just made your day better. But with how quickly he declined, I think it's just that gut check. You never know. And so as we see these senior dogs coming in, like you mentioned with Kona, is there anyone out there that can just give them that love that McCoy found within the last few weeks and moments, even if it's just for weekends? Come and get them. They're older senior dogs that need the help, need the love. Just open up your couch for a few nights at a time just to get them out and experience that love, because you just never know how quickly or when their health can decline. I really thank you guys all for sharing that, because I think McCoy is probably all of our favorites. I'm trying to hold it together. But when I got the message as well, it definitely welled up and teared at work. So just, if you've thought about fostering, if you thought about adopting, do it for McCoy and pass that on to another dog that could actually benefit from it still and get that love. So thank you, Sarah, for bringing that up and coming into it, and everyone sharing your experiences. I'm going to finish up with why we all sit here and come here, and it's our mission. And McCoy is just that reminder, and I'm going to wrap up with this episode as we're all sitting here in tears and reminding everyone that you can still make a difference, even if it's for an afternoon or a night. And our mission statement is, our dream is to wake up in a world where every animal, despite age, breed, or health, is treated with kindness, dignity, and respect, and most importantly, have been touched with love, even if only for a moment. You can still do that, like McCoy was given with his whole time with Always and Forever. So this episode's for McCoy. This episode's for keeping our chins up, looking for the light at the end of the tunnel, and getting through the storm together as a community. Thank you, everyone.